Who are the explainers? Meet Ben.
Definitely myth.
Meet Meena.
Oh my goodness.
Between them, over 30 years of combined AI experience.
I would absolutely agree with that.
They've tested the myths.
So another myth.
They've watched agents follow instructions,
They will do anything.
sometimes a little too well.
The agent had decided to actually delete the whole database.
They don't just talk about AI, they put it to the test.
Grade this answer.
This is enterprise AI. Myth or reality?
Hey, Ben. So in today's episode, we're going to do something different. I have here a bunch of statements about AI that I've collected just based on what people have heard or read. And so I'm going to throw these statements at you, and I want you to tell me, is this a myth or is this real? And we'll dive deeper into each one.
Awesome. Let's do it.
All right, let's get into it. So first one, AI cannot be secure for enterprises unless they host the model themselves. Myth or real?
I say myth.
Myth, okay.
Yes. Probably what people mean is that whenever you have your enterprise data, you have to be very careful with it. Whenever you give enterprise data anywhere, it's at risk for any application. And with AI, you have to give it some of your most valuable data so that it's able to process and do things you want. And so therefore, if you're not careful, then you've given your data to somewhere that's untrusted. But that, I think, is the most important point, is that don't give your data to anywhere that's untrusted, as opposed to AI cannot be trusted unless you host it yourself. There are plenty of great ways to give data to trusted entities that you don't have to run yourself. Like most companies these days don't run their own huge data centers. They trust companies like Box, we're a trusted source of data. You places like GCP, AWS, other like enterprise-grade SaaS companies. And so I think if you're using AI from these trusted providers, it is as safe or in obeys the same sort of industry standards as the other areas in which you give data to these products. So you have to be always concerned whenever you give your data, and you want to make sure that they do things like zero data retention, make sure that they do things like make sure they have the latest industry standards, they're an enterprise-grade company, they're trustworthy, and so on.
Yeah.
But there's nothing inherent about AI that makes it so that you can't trust it overall.
That you need to do your own bespoke thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one's a myth. Okay, on to the next one. AI agents can be easily tricked, and they represent a huge security problem for enterprises.
Oh, I think this is definitely true. This is a reality of agents. I think that the key is that as you look to have AI do more for you, more complex tasks, have more agency, and then sort of the way that many people are seeing to get some value out of these agents, you give them more capabilities, you give them more tools. And in many ways, like a person that you're giving more responsibility to, you start to worry about what happens in the case of like, what if somebody tries to trick them? What if they're malicious in different ways? And you see that agents actually they try very hard to help. They try very hard to do what they're told. And there's a lot of ways, things like prompt injection, things like being able to sort of just try to instruct these agents to do something that would be malicious. So that people who are attacking these agents, or they have their own sort of logic about what to be done. So that is like misaligned agents. And there's plenty of examples of this almost constantly. Attackers who are able to compromise agents to get agents to do things. You see people like put too much, they give an agent too much responsibility and it goes in it, and it can like do something that was unintended. So these are very serious concerns. No enterprise should use AI unless they're pretty sure that some of the more sort of active attacks against them are being mitigated. So things like you should do endpoint protection to make sure you cleanse data so it doesn't have prompt injection, make sure you use action guardrails and so on. For Box, this is a huge concern for us. We are constantly looking to do things like input protections, setting guardrails, making sure that our agents cannot do some of the things that attackers would try to get them to do, because this is some of the most trusted data that companies would trust us with. So it's our responsibility in companies like us to make sure that we are constantly vigilant to make sure that like attackers cannot use agents. Even though agents are susceptible, we put in protections in place to make sure that we are able to sort of defeat and mitigate those kind of attacks. So that's definitely true from my mind.
All right, next one, Ben. Enterprises cannot use AI because it's non-deterministic.
This is a myth, I think.
Okay.
But there is an element of truth to this, which is if you expect that if you get AI working, you get an AI agent to do something for you, and then you say, done, this is perfect now, it's going to always give me the same results. That's probably not true. It's sort of the idea of non-determinism where they act a little bit differently. Even if you ask the same things, even if you get the same inputs, that's kind of built into the nature of the technology, to large language models. Many people would say, well, then I can't trust it. if it's not 99.999% accurate or 100% accurate, I can't use it. Or if it's going to give me different answers, then there's no way that an enterprise could use it. But I'd say it's just like very clearly a myth. And the reason why I think that is because a mental model of the power of agents is to think of like the kind of things that people can do and people with assistants can do. If you think of AI as kind of assisting you. If I ask you a question, do you always give me the same answer?
I don't think so, no. Yeah. All right, Ben. So next one. Training models is the best way for enterprises to get AI to do what they want.
Yeah. I'd say definitely myth.
Okay. What's changed?
I think the reason that people say it comes from the idea that it used to be the way that you would do anything with it, with machine learning, is to provide a whole bunch of data and train it to exactly what you want to do. I think, though, the latest models, and particularly latest agents, you can definitely instruct them. You can definitely give them examples. You can definitely say, this is the kind of task I want you to do, and here's roughly how to do it. And that approach works really well. And so it's the days of you having to basically say, here's 1,000 or 1,000,000 different ways to so all the edge cases you'd ever experienced must be handled in your training set. The AI models these days are kind of smart enough. They've read the whole internet. They're quite wise. And so they're able to sort of deduce what you want and make sure that they sort of stay on track. So you don't actually have to train models these days. You can more just instruct AI, usually in the form of these agents, to do something, give them these instructions, and it works really well. So I would say it's very rare for an enterprise to ever actually want to train a model because it's cumbersome, it's expensive, it's hard. It's just much easier to just ask agents to do the work.
But doesn't this typically come up when enterprises are thinking of okay, well, how will the agent know my business context? So then isn't the answer to train it?
No, I think the answer is to give it better context and to give it better instructions.
All right, last one for you, Ben. The statement here is that you need clean, structured data in order to use AI effectively. And I think a lot of this also stems from this idea that, often the phrase we hear garbage in, garbage out. If I haven't sorted through my data strategy, AI is not going to give me good answers.
Yeah, I think you're right, is that that's what people think. I would call it definitely a myth, though. Mm-hmm. If you think about where did generative AI come from? And it came from the idea of learning on basically the internet, on books, on very unstructured data. And it was and it was sort of part of the technology evolution is to just understand what was going on and then be able to respond and to almost any input. So for enterprises, you could, and I've heard people do this, I need to make sure that I completely structure everything I'm going to do so I can give it to AI, which is not bad. If you do ever have that, then it's often helpful for the AI because it doesn't have to figure out. But AI itself, generative AI itself, is actually very good at structuring data. So at Box, we have a product where we actually will structure unstructured data for you. We call it a Box extract. And AI is just very good about doing this. You can give it sort of arbitrarily complex info and then have AI figure out the structure to it, have a contract. What are the key terms? I have a research proposal. What are the different key elements of it? I have a financial report from a customer, from a client, and I need to make sure that they pull out all the key things. All of these used to be almost impossible because there's so many different formats of things. But now AI can handle this sort of not clean data and figure out what to do. So AI basically can actually cleanse the data for you. And so now it is critical that you get data in a platform that supports AI. But then after that, AI can usually do an awful lot for you. So you don't have to make everything pristine ahead of time.
And so with the example of extract, I think we can also extend that to when it comes to leveraging AI for classification, tagging, just
exactly
getting all of that cleaned up with the help of AI.
Exactly. Really difficult classification that used to be humans would do that kind of thing AI can do very well now.
Well, we've separated myth from reality. Are there myths out there in the world of enterprise and AI that you wish we tackled here today? Tell us in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss another episode. We'll see you next time.